On today's episode, we are going to be looking at female genital mutilation. I don't know if some of you understand what female genital mutilation is all about. That is women's circumcision. And female genital mutilation, FGM, remains widespread in Nigeria, with an estimated million survivors. Nigeria accounts for the third highest number of women and girls who have undergone FGM worldwide, that is women's circumcision. An estimated 86% of females were caught before the age of 5, while 8% were caught between the ages of 5 and 14. As the world commemorates the International Day of Zero Tolerance for FGM, female genital mutilation, the Minister of Women Affairs, Iman Suleiman, says the ministry will collaborate with the Ministry of Justice in order to come up with stiff law to eradicate this menace.
We're using today to reaffirm our commitment to ending one of the most serious violations of human rights, the female genital mutilation, FGM. Today is a call for urgent, collective, and sustained action to protect the rights, dignity, and the future of millions of girls and women in Nigeria and across the world. Distinguished guests and partners, this press briefing serves as an opportunity to highlight Nigerians' progress, ongoing challenges, the strategic action being taken by federal government in collaboration with our critical stakeholders to eliminate FGM. It is also a platform to reinforce our commitment under the renewed hope agenda of our leader, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, to strengthen laws, scale up community interventions, drive behavioral and cultural change. Today, we will share our template and outline our multi-sectoral strategy and the collective action needed to accelerate efforts in ending FGM once and for all. Let me quickly add that this year's theme, Step Up the Pace, Strengthening Alliances, and Building Movement to End FGM, speaks to the urgency of our efforts. It's a call to accelerated progress, to deepen partnerships, to translate commitments into tangible actions. We cannot afford complacency. FGM is not merely a cultural practice, it's a fundamental breach to human dignity, a direct assault on the health and well-being of women and girls, and a significant impediment to sustainable development. As you may all know, Nigeria remains among the countries with the highest burden of FGM globally, with a significant number of women and girls affected. Our nation bears a significant responsibility to lead the charge in eliminating this harmful practice. In 2018, the National Demographic and Health Survey places the prevalence rates at 20% amongst women aged 15 to 49, a statistic that underscores the urgent need for intensified action. The physical, psychological, and socio-economical consequences of FGM are profound and far-reaching. The procedure performed under crude conditions results into severe hemorrhage, infection, complication in childbirth, and psychological trauma, and in extreme cases, death. Beyond the individual suffering, FGM deprives communities of their full economic potential by limiting the educational and economical prospects of women and girls. Although FGM prevalence has declined over the years, there are increasing numbers of girls at risk of FGM in some parts of our beloved country. Distinguished guests, our dear partners, members of the press, FGM is not a private matter, it's a public health crisis. It's a development challenge. It's a fundamental violation of human rights. it impedes our progress towards key sustainable development goal, SDGs, including health well-being, SDGs, quality education, SDG 4, quality gender equality, SDG 5, and decent work and economic growth, SDG 8. The Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, as part of its ongoing effort as a co-chair of the National Technical Committee on Elimination of FGM, is actively supporting the implementation of the national policy and plan of action on FGM elimination in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Health, UNFPA, UNICEF, and other critical stakeholders, and is taking decisive action. This framework serves as our own strategic guide in addressing both the root causes and the devastating consequences of this practice. As part of this year's commemoration, we have outlined key activities to strengthen advocacy and action against FGM. And advocacy work nationwide by states and other stakeholders to create awareness and galvanize action towards this particular menace. An advocacy visit to Borno State, one of Nigerians' FGM flashpoints. This visit aims to engage community leaders, religious leaders, policy makers on the urgency of abandoning FGM. It also aims to strengthen community-based surveillance and reporting mechanisms to monitor and respond to FGM cases effectively. Also, this visit would ensure we mobilize grassroots organizations and youth-led movement to push for change. Please, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed stakeholders, let me be clear. The fight against FGM is not the responsibility of one ministry, one organization, or one sector. It's a collective responsibility. Government, civil societies, traditional and religious institutions, the private sector, the media, young people, all have a role to play. FGM is not culture. FGM is not tradition. FGM is a human right violation. It has no place in our society, and we must remain steadfast in our resolve to eliminate it totally. To men and women in this ground, and to all stakeholders listening, I will work hand in hand with the Honorable Minister of Justice. The Ministry of Women Affairs will work hand in hand with the Federal Ministry of Justice to advocate for strengthening of law enforcement and accountability. I will also work collaboratively with all relevant ministries to ensure we invest more in education and to promote economic empowerment opportunities for women and girls to elevate them. I will amplify the voices of survivors to ensure that their lived experiences shape our policies and other interventions. On this International Day of Zero Tolerance for FGM, let us make a pledge to step up the pace, to build strong alliances, to ensure that no girl in Nigeria, no girl anywhere is subjected to this harmful practice. The time for action is now. Together, let us unite to end FGM. Together, let us ensure that every girl in Nigeria is free to live, free to dream, and free to thrive.
Other stakeholders who were also present to commemorate the day also frown at the practice and call on all hands to be on deck in order to fight the menace.
I wish to commend the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs for hosting this event and the National Technical Committee for Elimination of Female Genital Mutilation for organizing it. Your dedication is a powerful signal of our shared commitment to protecting the rights and the well-being of women and girls across Nigeria. As we gather today, we are reminded of the urgency of our cause. According to recent studies, an estimate of 27 million more girls could endure this violation of their rights and dignity by 2030 if we do not take action now. Nigeria is currently home of about 20 million women and girls that have undergone FGM. And if this current trend persists, another 14.8 million women and girls are projected to undergo FGM by 2030. Conflicts, poverty, and rising inequalities all hinder progress, disrupting programs designed to protect girls and transforming harmful gender and social norms. These barriers must be overcome if we were to meet our goal of ending FGM by 2030. The practice continues to be most prevalent in the southern part of our country, and a troubling trend is emerging in the northern regions as well, where FGM is becoming more common among girls under 14. And there is also an alarming increase in part of our central region. So, equally concerning is the increasing trend of medicalization of FGM in Nigeria, where healthcare professionals are involved in performing this procedure. This doesn't make the practice safer. It is still a violation of human rights and remains detrimental to the physical and mental health of women and girls. We must address the medicalization of FGM with the urgency that it deserves, raising awareness in the medical community and ensuring that no health worker practice provider takes part in perpetuating this harmful practice. This is not just about ending a harmful practice, it is about empowering women and girls to exercise their rights to bodily autonomy, health, and dignity. This year's theme, Strengthening Alliance and Building Movement to End FGM, highlights the importance of united actions across all stakeholders. To end FGM, we must challenge harmful norms by engaging diverse voices, including men, boys, and youth. By building inclusive movements, we can shift societal attitudes and protect women and girls from FGM. And the UNFPA is fully committed to supporting this partnership and driving lasting change. Through the UNFPA UNICEF joint program to eliminate FGM, the largest global and national program of its kind, we have catalyzed a movement that is accelerating progress at regional, national, and community levels. This program is making tangible differences in the life of women and girls, but there is much more to be done. I want here to commend the Nigerian government at all levels for its demonstration of great commitment to eradicating FGM, which is exemplified by the compact signed by Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Nigeria, and the spouses of the governors of the 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to end FGM in our country.
As we gather here today, more than 200 million girls and women worldwide have undergone female genital mutilation. Nigeria accounts for around 10% of this figure, which is estimated at around 19.9 million.
This means that Nigeria holds the third highest number of women and girls who have undergone female genital mutilation globally. UNICEF, along with our sister agency, UNFPA, have co-led the largest global program on elimination of female genital mutilation, which aligns to the vision of the 2030 Agenda for the Sustainable Development Goals. In Nigeria, the UN Joint Program on the elimination of female genital mutilation was initiated back in 2014 in high prevalence states back then. But as now, there are hotspots that have been recognized, the program is expanding to other areas with the practice, which really demonstrates our commitment of eliminating female genital mutilation across the country.
Across Africa and the world, millions of girls and women like me continue to bear the lifelong scars, emotional, physical, and psychological, inflicted by FGM. This year's theme, Stepping Up the Pace, is a powerful call to action. It reminds us that progress is not enough. We must accelerate our efforts, strengthen our collaborations, and push forward with greater urgency. FGM is not just a cultural or traditional practice. It is a violation of fundamental human rights. It robs girls of their dignity, exposes them to severe health risks, limits their potentials. While significant progress has been made, with declining rates in some regions and stronger legal frameworks, the reality remains stark. More than 200 million women and girls have undergone FGM. We believe that ending FGM requires a multi-pronged approach, one that combines advocacy, community engagement, legal enforcement, and survivor support, which is very important. We need to bring survivors to be part of the conversation. Our work with grassroots organizations has shown that change happens when we empower communities with knowledge and provide alternative rites of passage. Because it's not enough to tell them that cultural practices that they do is wrong. You need to make them understand why that particular culture they do is bad. To truly step up the pace, we must strengthen laws and enforcement. We must invest in education and awareness. We must engage traditional and religious leaders. That is very important. We need to support survivors, like I said earlier. We need to mobilize youth and men as allies. As we move forward, we call on governments, civil society, international partners, and individuals to join hands in the mission. Change is possible, but only if we act with speed, determination, and unity. Let this day serve as a reminder that every girl, and indeed every woman, deserves a life free from fear, pain, and injustice. The time to act is now.
FGM is a gross human rights violation that has no place in our society. It is a painful and traumatic experience that can have lifelong physical and emotional consequences for girls and women. As we commemorate this day, we acknowledge the progress made so far in the fight against FGM. However, we also recognize that there is still much work to be done. In Nigeria, we have a robust legal framework that prohibits FGM and prescribes penalties for offenders. The Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015 especially prohibits FGM and prescribes penalties, including imprisonment and fines. We commend the Nigerian government for enacting this law and urge all stakeholders to ensure its effective implementation. However, laws alone are not enough. We must also work to change the social norms and cultural practices that perpetuate FGM. The National Council of Women's Studies remains committed to supporting efforts to end FGM in Nigeria. We will continue to work with our partners, including all the MDAs, civil societies, and community leaders, to raise awareness about the dangers of FGM and promote alternative rites of passage that promote the health, education, and empowerment of girls and women. We call on all stakeholders to join us in stepping up the pace to eliminate FGM. We must work together to create a world where every girl and woman can live free from FGM and all norms and forms of violence are eliminated, as well as discrimination. To all the girls and women who have been affected by FGM, we say to you, we hear you and we believe in you. Your voices matter, and your futures deserve to be bright and free from harm.
We gather in solidarity to reaffirm our unwavering commitment to ending female genital mutilation. This harmful practice violates the rights, dignity, and well-being of millions of girls and women worldwide, especially in Nigeria. It robs them of their health, their potential, and in many cases, their lives. The International Day of Zero Tolerance to Female Genital Mutilation is more than just a date in the calendar. It is a call to action, a reminder that progress is possible, but only if we work together. Governments, communities, civil society, and survivors all have a role to play. Ending female genital mutilation requires strong laws, sustained education, and most importantly, the empowerment of women and girls to make decisions about their own bodies. We commend the tireless efforts of those who continue to challenge harmful traditions and champion the rights of women and girls. To the survivors who speak out, to the activists who stand firm, and to the policymakers who take action, you are the driving force of change. As we mark this day, let us move forward beyond words and recommit to concrete action. Let us invest in education, advocacy, and support systems that will protect future generations. Together, we can build a world where every girl is free from the threat of female genital mutilation. A world where she can live with dignity, health, and opportunity. The time to act is now, and the time to say no more is today.
And on this note, we shall be concluding today's episode of the program Feminine Affairs. We solicit your support in the fight against female genital mutilation. Until we come your way again with another interesting episode next week. Don't forget to watch Feminine Affairs on our YouTube channel, Feminine Affairs with Juliet Dangiwa. See you same time next week. Bye for now.